After years of disliking the way I look, only now I realize I'm not ugly. I'm just not my type.
Whoever created the tradition of not seeing the bride in the wedding dress beforehand saved countless husbands everywhere from hours of dress shopping and will forever be a hero to all men. When you're a kid, you don't realize you're also watching your mom and dad grow up. We laugh at dogs getting excited when they hear a bark on TV, but if TV was a non-stop stream of unintelligible noises and then someone suddenly spoke to you in your language, you'd be pretty fucking startled too. Dads probably bond with dogs so much because, in our society, men don't get shown a lot of affection, but dogs give tons of affection regardless. Girls don't compliment guys because they are likely to take it non-platonically. Guys take it non-platonically because it happens so infrequently they don't know how to handle it. The biggest form of peer pressure as a kid wasn't drugs, alcohol, or cigarettes. It came during exams, when it was completely silent, and you heard everyone turn to page 2 while you were still on the first question. Being able to do well in high school without having to put in much effort is actually a big disadvantage later in life. If elevators hadn't been invented, all the CEOs and important people would have their offices on the first floor as a sign of status, and the entry-level employees would be up on the 80th floor. During a nuclear explosion, there is a certain distance of the radius where all the frozen supermarket pizzas are cooked to perfection. Being able to tolerate the sound of your own voice in a video is probably the highest form of self-acceptance. College students don't want to go to graduation ceremonies, but they go to please their relatives, while relatives don't want to go, but go to support the students. We should all just be honest and skip that ceremony and go out for pizza. There is probably at least one white guy, adopted and raised in China, who speaks English with a Chinese accent and strangers just assume he's a total asshole. Apparently, a lemon is not naturally occurring and is a hybrid developed by crossbreeding a bitter orange and a citron. Life never gave us lemons, we invented them all by ourselves. Being 35 and not wanting to work in the field for which you've prepared is like being halfway through an RPG and realizing you've built out your skill tree all wrong, and you can't respec, and you can't make a new character, and there will never be another video game again. It would be cool if after you died you could see the top 5 times you almost died. It kinda makes sense that the target audience for fidget spinners lost interest in them so quickly. Apparently, people have a lot of feelings on fidget spinners. Strong feelings. Avatar, the highest grossing film of all time, seems to have made zero impact on culture. No one references the movie and no one really talks about it since it was released 10 years ago. If we look back, Pornhub has been one of the most innovative video sharing websites. They have had permanent dark mode for years. They popularized the preview setting where you can watch the video without starting it, and still are one of the few to have like/dislike percentage on display. We all think of Gordon Ramsay as an extremely picky food critic/chef, but if your life's work was cooking, and you saw a narcissistic restaurant manager breaking health code violations and making horrible food, you'd be pretty angry too. Security at every level of an airport is absolutely ridiculous, until you get to the baggage claim. Then it's just like take whatever bag you want. Coffee makes you hyper, but coffee shops are designed for people to chill, whereas alcohol is a depressant, but bars and clubs are designed for people to be energetic. The internet both almost killed off the postal service with email, and then made it more needed than ever with online delivery. The spiders that live in Buckingham Palace now are probably the descendants of the spiders that lived there during Victorian times. It's a whole parallel royal family, but with spiders, am I right? People are so amazed by the fact that every snowflake is different, but nobody cares that every potato is unique. Biting your tongue while eating is a perfect example of how you can still screw up, even with decades of experience. The biggest form of peer pressure as a kid wasn't drugs, alcohol, or cigarettes. It came during exams, when it was completely silent, and you heard everyone turn to page 2 while you were still on the first question. We give rude elderly people the benefit of the doubt, because they've been through a lot, but there's a decent chance that old person has been an asshole their whole life. One of the most frustrating feelings in the world is being smart enough to know there's a better way to do something, but not smart enough to invent a way to do it. In the Harry Potter universe, couples could take Polyjuice potion and swap bodies then have sex, to see what it's like from both perspectives. It would be weird if a human yelled out anyone wanna fuck, but birds do it all day and nobody cares. It must suck to be an air conditioner repairman. You spend your day working in buildings that have no air conditioning. When it's fixed and finally cool, you leave. Talent shows like Britain's Got Talent become much more disturbing when you realize that it's just for rich people dangling money in front of poor people and telling them to dance for their entertainment. When people brokenly speak a second language they sound less intelligent, but are actually more knowledgeable than most for being able to speak a second language at all. There is no physical evidence to say that today is Wednesday. We all just have to trust that someone has kept count since the first one ever. A person wearing a suit in a room of people in t-shirts is usually the most important person there. A person wearing a t-shirt in a room full of suits is more likely the most important person in the room. USPS could make more money if they put post offices in airports, so instead of throwing something out that you forgot was in your bag you could mail it home. If people from the Star Wars universe ever came to Earth, the fact that it has deserts, rainforests, prairies, tundras, and oceans would probably be a real mindfuck for them. An onion is the bass player of food. You would probably not enjoy it solo, but you'd miss it if it wasn't there. If you are alone, when you crack open a peanut shell and eat the peanut inside, you are the only person in the world to have ever seen that peanut. If you play the Pornhub community jingle in public, everyone will know you're watching porn, but no one will say anything because it will reveal that they know what the jingle's from. The biggest flex is using mobile data in your own home because the Wi-Fi is being slow.